Hello, this is Elizabeth and Elton Brewington with Discover Brightside, the video podcast where we discover new people and we find new things that you haven't heard before. And so, hello, Colin. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and then we'll talk more about what we do?
Of course. Greetings. Thank you all so much for having me. Colin Asare-Appiah. Obviously, from the accent, I'm from somewhere else. I grew up in sunny southeast London. I like to say sunny because it's always raining in London. Uh, and I was born in Ghana, and I moved to London when I was seven. I spent a lot of my formative years there. I also I spent time in Europe, and then I moved here to the US about 20 years ago, and I've been here in Brooklyn ever since.
Wow. And Brooklyn is really fantastic too. There's a lot going on there. So tell us about this Bacardi experience and bringing you here with cocktails and what you do.
Yeah, I work across the portfolio as the trade community director with Bacardi, and we have the opportunity to work with world-class brands, and we have the opportunity to also connect with our consumer base who appreciate what we do on a day-to-day basis. And I mean, everyone needs a cocktail at one point in the day, don't they?
Yeah, especially after the pandemic, everybody,
Exactly.
or I think the your industry just soared to to the sky.
Yeah,
Uh,
but the interesting thing about that, people realized that they really wanted to be in the bar and getting the bartenders to make them their cocktails instead of
yeah,
making it at home for themselves. Yeah.
that's so true.
My only question is shaken or stirred?
Shaken or stirred, it really depends on what you like. I always like stirred
Okay,
personally, just because I can control the dilution better.
okay.
That's
And
so true.
yourself?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like it not stirred because I like the experience of as you drink, it kind of matures with you and it kind of becomes something else. So
Oh,
that's just
cool.
me. But I've tried it both ways,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
I do that with
I've,
my coffee sometimes too. I wait for that sugar to be at the bottom
really.
of my coffee cup, but it's just me.
Actually, I mean, either way with me, as long as it's well made.
Yeah.
As long
Martini,
as the cocktail's well made, right? Like,
yeah, because I mean, hi, uh, martinis are, I don't know, I found them to be credible as long as the person doing the mixing knows what they're doing. Maybe it's the confidence. Maybe they make some confidence up in there or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But when you have a good martini, you know it. You know, you can
And it's
tell.
also, I think, the
You
ice.
can
It has
tell.
to be chilled right,
You can tell a good
otherwise.
martini from the
Yeah.
martini
it
maker.
has to be chilled and dilution has to be appropriate. And one
Uh-huh.
thing I love about the martini is it's one of those cocktails that everybody
Oh yeah,
has a way of drinking it.
yeah.
And everybody always walks to the bar and asks the bartender to make it just to how they like it. It's a very personal cocktail, which I like.
Actually, it has a world-renowned strata because I mean, I was at the place where they were selling, they were sharing watermelon martinis,
Yes.
peach martinis. I mean, as a matter of fact, I was thinking about hosting an event uh, with a martini as the main course.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, you'll get a full house. You'll get a full house, guaranteed.
Yeah.
I always like to call any any martini with a flavor as a teeny, like watermelon and so on.
Uh,
And the classic straight stirred martini is the martini.
yeah.
Yes, yes,
Well,
yes.
even when you mention the term,
Yes.
automatically there's a plateau of this is the standard. Now can you hold it or not? And nobody's gonna turn it down. Yeah,
No,
not in America.
martinis have an air of sophistication.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
They do. Mm.
The other thing is also when you think about the Bacardi brand, how they have expanded over time. Now we used to live in Westchester, so we were in the land, as they say. But I think what we've noticed is the flavors, right? So it started off as just the staple, the one and only rum that you love so much, but then
Yeah,
it went to coconut and watermelon. And so tell us a little bit about how has the brand expanded like that.
yeah. I mean, Bacardi as a brand has been around since 1862, and they've perfected the art of making rums for generations of craftsmen who've been creating the rum. And the beauty of Bacardi is it's a blend of two styles of rum. It's an aguardiente and a redestilado. Each drop of Bacardi is aged for a minimum of a year. You know the white Bacardi, the Superior, the Catablanca, the one that you see, is aged for a minimum of a year, and it's filtered through charcoal to extract the color, and also what that does is it leaves a really clear, bright spirit, which is amazing for mixing. Along with that, you also have the flavors which we're talking about, which were introduced to basically to feed a demand of the consumer. At the time when the flavors came, they were quite pioneering. The same as when the Carta Blanca in 1860, when that was created, that was pioneering as well. But also on top of that, there's a whole range of exquisitely aged Bacardis. We have Bacardi Cuatro, Ocho, Diez. Obviously, the name of the bottles tells the story. The Cuatro is aged for a minimum of 4 years. The eight, Ocho, the same, and the Diez rums aged for a minimum of 10 years. And these are all blended and crafted in a way that they offer opportunity for you to sip and create amazing cocktails with.
Mm.
It's amazing. I mean, it's like a whole global thing happening in one bottle. I mean, literally,
Yes.
like I mean,
Yes.
every like for the Americans, they can create their own version of it, and then it's so, as you said, it's so personal. So anyone can feel at home with
Yeah,
it. Yeah. So
exactly. And there's a flavor for every occasion. And Bacardi has always embraced the community um of drinking cocktails. Whenever you have mojitos and daiquiris, because Bacardi is synonymous with those cocktails, right? Mojitos, daiquiris, and so on. Pina colada, all of
yes.
these cocktails are all fun. They're all created for you to drink with your friends and has that celebratory kind of moment.
So now in Europe, I mean, well, you're in New York, but I mean, in the UK, how is Bacardi doing there? I mean, it was doing explosively well in the US a long time. In
Yeah,
fact, the leading rum supplier. But now we've got a few other brands on the market, and
yeah,
they have taken some competitive benefits. Like I mean, you got your Caribbean rums, and they're doing okay. You got, I mean, they're pretty good too. What is that? Dominican Republic? Do I have rum? No, 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 no. This,
Yeah, actually, we have. I don't know if you know Ian.
uh,
He's written a book about rum, and he's a
do you
journalist.
know rum? You know Ian?
Ian
No,
McClellan. Sorry, Ian Burrell. He's one of my best friends. Funny enough, I
Okay,
actually spent the first part of this week with him. We were together
okay,
at Hell's on tour, and he did a
okay,
presentation on rum rules. I have a.
okay.
I also have a cocktail festival in South Africa,
Oh,
called Jabu, which
okay.
is wondrous and amazing. And he's coming in. It's in 2 weeks' time, and he's coming to deliver a rum presentation for
Okay,
people
very
attending.
good,
so
very
where
good.
Elton is talking about all the Caribbean is because of Ian, because Ian introduced us. We were total Bacardi people for a very long time.
Well, not
We
totally.
still,
Mm.
but he introduced us to all these different generations of rum. And so tell us, how does Bacardi stand in the world, in the U.S.?
What's your company
What
name?
what what is
Colin?
the research telling you about how it's doing?
It's doing well. I mean, Bacardi as a rum is still the leading rum in the
And the
category.
favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the leading rum in the category. And what we should remember as well is the heritage of Bacardi is it's a Cuban rum. So it's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
a Caribbean rum now, obviously to certain things that happen in history.
Uh-huh.
Bacardi is now made in Puerto Rico, and but we still carry on the same traditions,
Mhm.
the same style of rum making from
Well,
Cuba to Puerto Rico, and we continue to share that same style of rum and that same craftsmanship. And it's
uh,
still the leading rum in the world, and long may it continue, I say.
uh, well, according to Ian. Now, I'm not sure if we're talking about the same Ian, but Ian wrote the book that said that the Boston Tea Party was not over tea;
It
it
was
was
all
over
around.
rum. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and the
yeah.
taxes that the rum producers
Exactly,
had to pay,
exactly.
and all of
Yeah.
that.
So,
Yes.
but and Dominican Republic, they've got their own brand, and Cuba too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us. I mean, what your company, what your branding?
What does your company do, and how does the rum play in your
Right.
world?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, rum in our world. I mean, as I mentioned to you, the rums are made for every occasion of making cocktails and every occasion of socializing.
Okay.
What Bacardi as well has always been synonymous with is movement, dancing,
Yes.
happiness, joy. That joie de vie. You've seen the adverts. You may have seen it even at some of the festivals all around the US. And I
Okay.
remember as a baby bartender back in London, we did it was called Bacardi Be Live, and it was the first time that I'd interacted with Bacardi in that kind of space of festivals and party goers. It was amazing, and it really did connect with the culture, and it connects with all ages of drinker, which is great, and lots of different demographics.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I remember New York Fashion Week. Bacardi
Mhm.
was a sponsor, so they'd have the little mini Bacardis, and you'd be drinking them all through the whole, fashion shows and Fashion Week and things like
Yeah.
that. So where now? Where are you going to go next with this brand? I mean,
Yeah.
so you just host events for Bacardi and promote the brand and
I Bacardi as okay, we have Bacardi and then we have Bacardi, the company that owns a whole plethora of brands. Under the umbrella, you have Grey Goose Vodka, you have Bombay Sapphire, you have Patron Tequila, you have Illegal Mezcal, Dewar's Whiskey, the brand that everybody knows, Douce, Cognac, Martini, the Vermouth. We also have Irish whiskies, Teeling. We have Scotch whiskies. Dewar's, Aberfeldy. So there's a whole range of brands under the umbrella. And one of my favorites as well in that is Angel's Envy, the bourbon, which is really capturing the imagination of bourbon drinkers at the moment. So where are we going? I mean, in my role, I like to say that I'm the conduit of spirits, and I connect with a lot of the folks that purchase the brands to make cocktails and craft cocktails and create unique guest experiences. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's I'll continue to be doing that.
Okay. So at the process now, we're kind of subdivided. You're on the East Coast. I'm on the East Coast. You're in the
Yes.
North. I'm in the South. But at the end of the day, it's moving product,
yeah.
moving product,
We'll
and
talk
getting
about that
people to do
offline.
that.
Let me finish this interview. So we work a lot with
Well,
veterans.
would you transfer the screen over to me? And I'm wondering why.
We
Okay.
work a lot with veterans in the military as well, and so North Carolina has always been a Bible district. So drinking has not been one of their top strengths, but recently we've seen a surge and a great interest, and I always get questioned on this channel, what how do I make the perfect cocktail? So I said this was a question I told Laurie I must ask you. What consists of the most perfect, as you have been a baby bartender, what
Mhm.
would you put if you were to make a favorite drink for someone?
Okay. The principles of making a perfect cocktail is about balance. It's like anything in life, right? It's about balance and moderation. There's a standard when it comes to making cocktails, and it's interesting because I think it may be in Ian's book, and it's a standard that I've always used when making cocktails, and it's a rhyme. It's basically it's one is sweet, two is sour, three is strong, four is weak. So the one is sweet being any of the sugars that you use in, two is sour being citrus, yeah, three is strong being your alcohol, four of weak being your juice or water or anything that you need to stretch and dilute that cocktail so it makes it palatable. And then the fifth ingredient is a little spice to make things nice, like
Oh,
a bitters or Angostura bitters, nutmeg, cloves, cinnamon, any of those kind of spices to bring that bouquet to life, or even a herb to really like a mint or rosemary or thyme or anything herbaceous to really add
Mm,
that depth of aroma to your drink.
okay, good.
so there you have it, Brightside. Now let's see how you make a cocktail and share your photo and video with us. And just remember, we're giving away $1,000 this month towards any cosmetic surgery or dental implants or anything that you want to do in Turkey with Estee World. So this is a good time to try a cocktail and send us a photo and show us what it is and what it means to you. Thank you for watching, and you have been discovered, Colin, and I hope to see more of you on our channel.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.